Hi everyone and welcome back. So I was thinking about some sort of travel tips I could give you because I noticed in a lot of the comments recently that many of you are traveling or had trips coming up and planned for the summer type of thing. So I thought to myself, what kind of advice would you like? You didn't ask for it, I'm just going to give it to you. Isn't that awesome? Damn. One of the things that I think is really important just as like a life lesson is how to be a good house guest, because like Jean de la Bruyere, a French philosopher and moralist from the 1600s, and he said, and I quote, "The first day one is a guest, the second a burden, and the third a pest." Now ain't that the truth? So I put together 5 little tips that I think can be applied to any situation where you are staying in someone else's house. Now, like the rules aside, you're going to determine how long you're staying. You're going to share that with your house guests. But these are just like 5 generic tips that I think will just make your trip much more enjoyable for everyone. Like, relax, okay? If you're anything like me, sometimes when you're staying in someone else's house, you feel a little bit uncomfortable because you realize that you're like imposing yourself on this family potentially. It could be family, it could be friends, whatever the case may be. Just relax. Like, you either were invited or it was agreed upon that you're going to stay, so obviously they're happy to have you there. And the first day, you're going to be a guest and it's going to be enjoyable, so I would just say, relax, get those butterflies out. Just try to enjoy your stay as much as possible because the people that you're staying with are going to feel any anxiety that you may have. So it's like, just try your best to just kind of like become part of the family while you're there. Of course, when you first arrive at the home that you're staying at, you're going to be treated like a guest for at least the first little bit. But I would say try your best to avoid being waited on for too long. Like, there's an appropriate time frame. You know, there's going to come a point where you've sat down, you've had your first meal or your first drink or whatever it is, and you're kind of just chatting with the people. There's going to come a point where it's like, okay, if you're thirsty, just get up and go get yourself a drink or go make yourself some toast or a sandwich or whatever. Like, obviously, you know, when you're staying at someone's house, they're expecting you. I would hope, otherwise that's like a whole other video, but they have done appropriate grocery shopping. They've got more food in the house because they're expecting a whole other person to feed. So, you know, go get your own drink, go get your own food, obviously within reason. Like, don't go grab yourself a meal at 5:30 when you see the host preparing dinner. Like, hello. Don't wait for the host to have to worry about you because they've got their own things going on, especially if they have children or whatever. Like, they're worrying about other things and just trying to keep the house afloat, and you're like an extra person. So again, try not to be a burden. You deal? Okay. Going back to the point about trying not to be a burden, that's kind of like, I guess, the whole consensus of this video is that it's like we want to try to eliminate as much work and effort on part of the host while we're the guest, right? So one of the ways that you can help is by doing something around the house, like household chores. For example, if they don't have a dishwasher, you can do the dishes after a meal, or you can load the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher. And if you're thinking, well, I don't know where anything goes, try your best. Use your old noggin, you know what I'm saying? Open some cupboards. This is not rocket science. You could also take out the garbage. Offer to pick up some groceries, for example. If you notice that they're running low on milk, maybe hop out and go pick up a little thing of milk. Another thing which you can do, which I think is like, goodness, everybody should do this. This is like, never leave a house without doing this. But the room that you're staying in or the area that you're staying, try your best to keep it tidy. Before you leave, like on your last days, you're packing up your things, try your best to like undo the bed. So you take off your sheets, you fold the comforter, because I guarantee that they obviously cleaned the sheets and put them on a bed. So they're not going to reuse them after you've gone. So they're obviously going to be taking that off and washing it and putting that away type of thing. So long-winded thing, just take off your bedding. I don't know why, but that really bothers me when people don't do that. Like, don't be so lazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Another way that you can show your appreciation for staying with some friends or family is you could cook a meal. What? So I know that we're not all the best chefs, but we should at least have like 1 or 2 types of recipes that we have in our arsenal that we can like pull out wherever we are. For example, most people know how to cook a nice spaghetti, whether it be like a spaghetti bolognese or just a nice rosé sauce or whatever. You got some noodles, you got some pasta sauce, yeah, maybe throw in some meat and some veg. This is not really that difficult to do. A lot of times the host will have the ingredients on hand. If not, you can go to the store and you could pick up a couple groceries and you could put a meal together. You could always order a pizza, or you could pick up some type of dessert or make a dessert if you prefer baking. my goodness, make a dessert. Who doesn't like dessert? You know what I'm saying? I mean, let me tell you, if somebody comes to my house and cooks, you don't gotta leave. I'm pretty happy about that. And my last tip, so tip numero 5, is that be self-sufficient. Try your best to not rely too heavily on the host for transportation or entertainment. It's always nice just to kind of get out and do your own thing. The old saying goes, distance makes the heart grow fonder. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to kind of like get a little bit of a break and then come back together. You'll have more stories to share about what you did with your day or whatever. And on the flip side, you know, you might have a different travel etiquette than your host. And so perhaps they're like super eager, outgoing, and want to like tour all day. And all you want to do is like sit in a coffee shop and people watch. Well, I think you got to take it upon yourself to just do that, you know, because you want to have an enjoyable time. And like I was saying earlier, if you start to feel some sort of anxiety or if you're upset, like your host is gonna know. And it's a really awkward position to be in as a host because you're just like, oh, what more can I do? I don't know what they want. Like if you're not communicating it or if you're just not taking action. So long-winded way of saying is just try your best to be really self-sufficient when it comes to your own entertainment and how you want your trip to kind of like fall together. Do you know what I'm saying? And the last thing, just a little touch of etiquette, because I guess this is kind of what this is like, some tips on travel and some etiquette. When you do leave, it's a really nice gesture to leave some sort of thank you note or a gift for the host. What I have done in the past, I'm such a girl. I love cards and I love pictures. So I take plenty of photos when I travel and obviously with the people I'm staying with. And so what I like to do is if I have a chance, then I will print a bunch of pictures while I'm in the city, get a card and kind of just put a nice little thank you note with some photos inside and leave that either on the bed or on the desk in the room I'm staying type of thing, just to show my appreciation. So once I've gone and they're cleaning up, whatever, they'll find it, you know? Or another thing you can do is you can leave a plant. You could leave if they have a special favorite dessert or something, or a bottle of wine. Like, you gauge it, you figure out your host what they like, but it's, I think, a really nice touch at the very end to just leave a little something. You know, those are just some little tips I have with regards to travel and being a really good house guest, because I know for me personally, I don't always enjoy staying in other people's homes. Like, I almost would rather just foot the bill for a hotel room so you can kind of have your own sanctuary. But sometimes that's not financially feasible or even realistic, depending where you're going or how long you're traveling. So if you do have to stay with people, try your best to be a really good house guest. They will appreciate it and you will have a lovely trip because of it. Thank you so much for watching. You can, if you feel so inclined, follow me on Facebook. I'm going to add some links below. My Instagram, which I really enjoy. I love posting pictures. It's fun. And of course here. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!